Hello, everybody. Really happy to be here with you and to talk about SeriesLab. I have a small presentation to share. So, SeriesLab is our intensive annual training program for TV series project development. It's addressed to European professionals, scriptwriters, directors, and producers with a TV series project at early development stage. The call for application for the new edition, that is the fifth one, is now open and will close on February 1st. SeriesLab is an annual program that is divided in 3 workshops. 2 are residentials and 1 will be held online. The first one will be in June in Georgia. The second one will be held online in September. And the third one will be linked to the final presentation, and it should be end of November, beginning of December. We are still working on this final event. SeriesLab is a program of development, but it's also a program that aims at packaging the projects to be ready to meet the industry. That's why at the end of the development process and at the end of the 3 workshops, there will be an event that will be in front of a number of stakeholders that will listen to the pitches and to the project's presentations, and hopefully will ask to meet the participants in order to start the development of the process. So it's not just about development, but it's also about meeting the industry and help you in producing your projects. We will accept 9 projects this year, and each project can be presented by a team of 2 participants. The writer, that can be also the director, must be in the team, and also the producer, if there is a producer attached to the project. You can also have a third participant if necessary. That can be maybe the producer. It is highly recommended to have a producer attached to the project, but it's not mandatory. So if you are a team of writers, you can still apply to the lab. We can have mini-series and long TV series. We can have animation, but we cannot accept documentaries. And we don't have any restriction in terms of genre or length of each episode. We accept participants from European countries, which are the one list here and that you can also find on our website. So if you decide to join and to apply for the lab, have a check on the list on the website. And of course, there is a participation fee that is 3,000 euros plus VAT per team. And this fee covers the accommodation, meals, and all the training process during the full lab. Travels to reach the 2 residential workshops are out of this fee, so participants have to provide it on their own. If there is a third participant, there is an additional fee of 2,000 euros. We have some scholarships available. We cover part of the cost of participants coming from low visual capacity countries, which are the ones listed here, but that you can again find on our website. We have a scholarship for a project coming from Georgia, as Georgia is one of our partners this year. And we also have a scholarship for a project from Flanders region of Belgium, not for the full Belgium, but just from this region. If you decided to apply to SeriesLab, you have to go on the website, and there is a button that links you to the application online. You will be asked to fill some fields and some information, and after you have to provide the following material: the logline of the project, the CV of each participant, the concept presentation, and there is a maximum number of characters allowed. You have to provide also an outline of the pilot, which means that you don't have to send us the full pilot, but just the pilot structure in bullet points, and the number of bullet points depends on the length of each episode. So go on the website and you will find all the information about the outline. If there is a producer attached, we need a letter of interest. And if you have any audiovisual material that can help us to better understand the style and the visual of the project, please send it together with the application. So as I said, the deadline is February 1st. From February to April, we will have our selection process that will be quite long, as you can imagine. And in May, we will announce the selection. The first workshop will be in June. So that's a quick presentation from my side. Here you have my email address. If you have any kind of request, question, whatever, feel free to write to me and I will be more than happy to help you.
I have to say that TorinoFilmLab is an established authority when it comes to this type of experience, development processes that you want to take with a specific project. It wasn't the first lab from TorinoFilmLab that I applied to. And also it was because of how it was structured, I think, meaning that I had attended presentation of the previous edition of the Italian SeriesLab, the final events where this project finally get presented to the people, and I knew I wanted to reach that. I thought that the event in itself was beautifully structured, meaning that the stories, the projects got to be presented at a very high quality standard, I think. And for this reason, I wanted to apply. Then I decided to apply for the European training instead of the national one, because at the time, for other two reasons, which were that at the time, the story I applied with was a story that I felt it was something I wanted to suggest to a European audience because of its international potential that had to do both with the fact that it was a story about a gender mixed team playing in a national Italian male league. So there was an international potential, meaning that there could have been an international cast. And also because I thought it was something that didn't have a local appeal. It had a global appeal because it was something about what is gender, and is it cultural or is it natural? And I thought that was a broader question. You're not only going to be presenting your pitch to an international panel of decision makers, the people you work with, both your mentors and the people who work with you, but on their own projects, or your colleagues, your peers, they are all from different countries. And it was so interesting for us to see the cultural different perspectives on something that is so, let's say, at a different stage of definition right now in society, which is gender, and how it is perceived as something that divides people or not. Right now, we live in a moment in time when your stories are probably not only going to be watched and seen by people that share your same sensitivity about certain topics. You have to be able to perceive that there are different sensitivities around the world. And it was a very, very high challenge for me, my tutors and my peers at the time, to try and find a way to make this comedy come across, keeping the deep sense of it, the deep theme in it, without offending anyone. Of course, TorinoFilmLab and SeriesLab, it was incredibly helpful from my perspective for very many different reasons. First of all, for what I learned there, because I learned a way to work on a series idea, how you have to, first of all, open your mind and look for all the possible relevant conflicts in what you have taught in the beginning, enlarging it, let's say, exploring the world, boosting everything that is there. And then just afterwards, after you have collected so very many possibilities and ingredients on your table, just after that, you select what's best and what is most relevant to your idea and what has got the what is most memorable, what has got the biggest impact. Secondly, I would say that it also taught me what I told you before, how important it is nowadays to have an international perspective on something that you write from your national perspective and that you see set uh, somewhere that is around you, most likely, very often, let's say, you tend to place your stories, set your stories in places you know about. But still, you always have to think of how is this important to someone who lives on the other side of the world. And then it taught me a lot on how to pitch, how to present my ideas in the best way. And of course, like for instance, after that, I pitched to international decision makers. What is happening to me in the last, would say, 2-3 years, and I think it's both because the market is changing, and also a little bit because people know that I can do it, as the TorinoFilmLab proved it, is that I work for instance, an international panel of producers. Like, for instance, I'm working on a TV series that is produced by Italy, main producers, but then it's got attached a French and a Polish producer. And I worked for Netflix, so we had American and UK commissioner to talk to share our ideas.
We have a selection project based, meaning that we select the projects. So for us, the most important thing is to find good ideas, original ideas that can also meet the favor and of a European audience, so a general audience. So as Francesca said before, it's not just about projects that can be for a small audience, but for a general one. And we try to have a wide range of projects covering different teams and different nationalities. Yeah, it's a quite long process because first of all we have a team of professional readers that read the projects. So we assign to each reader. So the project is read by 2 readers, and after we make a selection after this reading. After all, the selection committee will read again the projects in short list, and this selection committee is composed by the tutors, the head of study, and 1-2 professionals from the industry, because we really want to find projects that can meet the requirements of the industry at the moment. So yeah, it's a selection process that it's in 3 steps. And the third one is the interview with the short list projects. Let's say that we have up to 20 projects in this final step, and we meet all the teams in order to better understand which is the core of the story and of the concept. I really want to encourage more producers to send projects together with the writer, because from this year on, we really want to work more with producers. We also want to provide some tutoring to them to help them to meet the industry and to sell their projects, because you are forced to work on the project during the training program, and you need to devote to that. Otherwise, it will stay in your on your desk forever and ever. So it's a concrete way to put hands on your project.
You have to participate to this lab because you will get a confrontation with the professionals that is rare, I would say, to meet in the industry. They will help you make make a significant step forward to your project. In my project, they made me find the protagonist, just to make you, just to give you an idea, guys.